This is just a bit of a walk around Montmartre here in Paris. Obviously we're looking at the Sacre Coeur right now on a beautiful, sunny Sunday morning. Look at that. We've got the sunlight on the left-hand side, luckily. But what a wonder that is. There it is. That's about as best I'm going to be able to do in terms of grabbing if you want to take a screenshot or similar of the Moulin Rouge. I'm going to hold that with my hand so it doesn't move for a moment. Bon. You know, there's red awnings or similar and just tens of dozens of small and much adorable side cafes. So really no comparison. Three guys and a lady with automatic weapons, not only on their person but drawn. Actually, hers is drawn. You see how enormous Lafayette is there? It's a series of shops. There is a department store, but also a lot of other shops. Looks like that glass bridge, in fact, between the two different parts of Galeries Lafayette. So if you're going to be watching this on YouTube later, welcome. This is just a bit of a walk around Montmartre here in Paris. Obviously we're looking at the Sacre Coeur right now on a beautiful, sunny Sunday morning at the end of January. In fact, we've only got a few more days left and we're going to be in February already. It's magnificent, isn't it? I mean, it's so incredibly clean as well. Okay, I'm going to say I'm still somewhat preferring St. Paul's, but again, it's not a direct comparison. A fairer comparison would be Notre Dame with St. Paul's. Be very careful of the tourist throng here. An absolutely enormous number of people. In fact, that's an understatement. It's beyond an enormous number of people right now. Sneezing with a French accent. Hope it sort of gives you all a little bit more of a perspective, you know, sort of a really full-on street level perspective, exactly as I can see it. Okay, and the camera is going to struggle a teeny bit occasionally as people walking in front. It's going to focus on whatever it feels like focusing on. I can't do anything with that, so I'll just continue sort of wandering here for a little while. Just close all of my pockets. Now everything's completely mobile. And it's great. To be honest, I wouldn't even want to try and do the walk up at this point. I mean, there are people, in fact, are sitting on the steps. The top level of the steps is almost fully occupied by people just sitting. Look at this, you know. It's still super early here. It's just after 11 a.m. here in Paris, and it's this busy. Good heavens. I'm genuinely shocked. I really am shocked that it could be this packed already. still, we had the best point, didn't we? We definitely had the best spot, without a shadow of a doubt. That was a great spot. I'm just going to go around, walk in front of the cathedral, and then we're going to exit down and have a little look through Montmartre. Yeah, this is the last look down the steps toward Paris. You can see it's just people getting to the top and obviously having a rest and so on. Not leaving a lot of room for everyone else that's walking up, unfortunately. In fact, even now the queue is getting enormous. People wanting to go in and have a walk around. Enormous queue here. This is the queue, everyone. It wasn't here 5 minutes ago, but it suddenly decided to become enormous. I don't know, perhaps the service begins, perhaps Sunday service begins at 12 noon, I don't know, or 11:30. But yeah, this queue sort of appeared out of nowhere, and it's very long already. Here's the little train. I was wondering, in fact, what the bell was. It's the train. The little Sacre Coeur train has a bell. Look at that. Complete with the little tricolor. Lovely. Okay, so there we are. This is the chaos that is now, fortunately, largely confined to the area in front of me. Behind me is relatively clear comparatively, thank goodness. Isn't that just a glorious thing to be looking at on a sunny Sunday morning here in Paris? It is a cute train, actually. I would, to be honest, if I was here with my children, I would almost certainly be compelled to go on that train. 1 second. I'm just going to wait here a moment. The train's just filling up with people. The guy's taking payment for the tickets and so on. Let's just wait until the train leaves, and then we'll basically follow the train as it winds its way through the streets. That is quite an adorable little train. It wasn't that full when it was going along before, so I don't think it waits here until it's completely full. I think he holds on here for just 5 minutes. I think. Wait 1 second. The other guy's getting on. I think they're ready to go. That's it. Choo choo. Oh, the train's got these sort of plastic sides, like sort of not quite plastic curtains. I guess, to somewhat shield everyone from the super cold 0 degrees. So people are just jumping on the other side. They've almost loaded up, actually. I think that will be the last people getting on. It's almost full. Rue du Cardinal Guibert. It's better to be here, in fact. That way I can attempt, depending on how fast it moves, to follow the train. Obviously the train takes the most picturesque route, so I'm going to wait until it moves, and then we'll follow it. Hopefully in just a moment. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm noticing actually over here. Oh, you know what? We definitely captured the sunshine again. The sunshine, and not just this way, the other way, the sunshine has started already to go. Look, remember how bright the front of Sacre Coeur is? It's not now. Yep, Cardinal Gilbert Street. Thank you, Marcos. Complete with this lovely little train. Which at some point I'm hoping is actually going to move, ideally. an accordion player to my right. That's what the sound is, if you're wondering. Yeah, it's kind of appropriate, isn't it? In fact, it's a little Parisian tune to almost to accompany the train as it's about to depart. When we get out of the road, the vehicles coming as well. I think they're just hoping they can get a couple more people on, so that there's no space left at all before it goes. I'm pretty sure that once the train leaves, it doesn't actually make any more stops. It just goes in a circle and comes back up again. So it's in their interest, obviously, to fill it up. Okay, I'm going to walk slowly. If it goes past me, I'll follow it, because I don't know how long it's going to be. I would assume it would have left by now, but for some reason I think they're hanging on to fill up every single seat. We know it's going this way, so let's follow along. And I think the train, if it leaves, will then go past me. Accordion players everywhere, in fact. This one's, wait, it's a cat. Is it a little cat? Oh, I thought it was a hat. It's a little cat, look. It's a black cat. Pet is a black cat. Wow. Na-na. We're going to go this way in a moment, but first I'm just going to have a look at the rear of Sacre Coeur whilst we're here. So anyone's wondering, we're just at the back of St Paul's here in London, St Paul's Cathedral here in the city of London. Lisa, we are firmly in Paris. Yeah, we're in Paris. Why are we in Paris? Hey, why not? Look at that glorious sunshine. I don't know what the weather's like in the UK or indeed in London today, but I'm guessing that it probably is not quite as wonderful as this. A little bit of light pollution. We're walking back toward direct sun. Okay, I'm sorry, being careful. There's a soldier coming out of the entrance here. In fact, multiple troops coming out. Oops, one second everyone, I'm not going to move for a minute. I'm just going to keep still. Oh wait, there's almost an army coming out. Goodness me. That gives you an idea of just how safe and secure it is here. hope you guys saw that. It's a small platoon heading out to patrol here in Paris, making sure that everything is very, very safe. Mission Vigie Pirate. I don't know what Vigie Pirate. I don't know what that means. Vigie Pirate. I'm not sure what that means. Careful not to put the camera. Yeah, Mission Vigie Pirate. If anybody wants to trace that, I'm guessing that's some anti-piracy operation of some sort. I don't know. Right now it's 11:22 here in Paris. Okay, they're leaving. I did get a couple of looks back actually when I was filming them in the vehicle. I didn't mean to. I was just sort of walking enthusiastically towards them. Okay, they're going the other way. That's good. All right, so the soldiers have gone. If anyone's wondering which city we're in, that building alone should tell you that we're not in London. How quintessentially Parisian is that? People coughing and spluttering everywhere. It's a beautiful light. In a few spots, the light is glorious. It was going to happen, folks. Yeah, we're going to have occasional drops. You know, we are again anywhere there's a lot of ironwork, either railings, or we go on very narrow streets with high buildings either side. Yeah, the network generally in France, I'm finding so far, is far superior to what we've had in London. There've been a few issues here, but nothing major. I've got 5 bars, I've got 5G, I've got unlimited data, so any issues with network are beyond my control, unfortunately. Again, I will wander slowly because of the sheer number of people, and hope that for everyone watching, it's still, it's still fairly clear. Bonjour, welcome, and welcome for joining from Mauritius. Beautiful streets of Montmartre. It actually doesn't even look real. It's glorious. In fact, that might have something to do with the chap that was there with the black cat playing the accordion. This little shop is Le Chat Noir, the black cat. Rue du Chevalier de la Barre, apparently. The best part of being in Montmartre is that, strictly speaking, I could be in literally any small provincial French town. It's utterly adorable and timeless. And yes, it's a little bit touristic, just like anywhere else in London or indeed anywhere else in the world. But it's thoroughly beautiful. Gonna have a little wander this way before we go behind me, which is the way towards central Paris. Let's have a look. It seems that we've got a quite interesting view here from the top of the steps. I'm definitely not going to be going down steps and then back up again. My legs are still recovering from the walk up. But that in front does look rather wonderful, doesn't it? It's sort of like, okay, what are we going to see? An enormous tower here as well. It's okay, to anyone that's wondering if we're in Oxford or whatever here, does that not sort of pretty much confirm that we're not anywhere in the UK? You show me somewhere in the UK that has signs in French, or here indeed. Look, we are most certainly, unequivocally in France, I promise. Also, there's no view like this that I know of anywhere in London. Look at this, everyone. Look at that. We've got the sunlight on the left-hand side, luckily. But what a wonder that is. Isn't that utterly spectacular? Little kids walking out, and mum's just saying, "Come on, you can do it. I know you're tired." Somebody, luckily enough, lives here. Could you imagine living here? Look at this. Isn't that extraordinary? The one next door even has a fairly covered balcony with those extraordinary views when they come out and look to their left. It's magnificent, isn't it? Yeah, it really is something else. Yeah. A lot of people yesterday were saying, which one do you prefer? In fact, even if any of you that were watching the end of yesterday's live, when we finally made it down, up to the Arc de Triomphe, and we had those lovely French girls that came over to say hello and started dancing and chatting with us. That was an extraordinary moment. But off camera at the end, I was having a chat with them, and one of them was saying, "Look, which is better? Which do you? Now the camera's not on. Which one do you like better? Which do you prefer?" And I said to her the same thing I said to a lot of you yesterday when we were, walking during the live. You can't compare them. They're incomparable because they're so utterly different. And as such, I would say that they're complementary. There's nothing at all in London that compares to what we're looking at right now. It doesn't exist. There is no view like this. But at the same time, you have quite extraordinary views in London, as we saw the past week. The river views in London are definitely, without a doubt, far superior to the river views in Paris, without a doubt. The steps are, you can see people are taking it easy. The steps are a killer, and you can see it's multi-levels. The set of steps in front of me is just down one level. Then there's a second level. Then there's a third level. And I think there might even be a fourth of the street level. We're very high up, as you can see at the moment, looking in the distance. But it's worth it though, isn't it? 100% worth it. That view is just, especially as we have the light just catching the buildings on the left-hand side. Going to try and take a picture. I am going down, but not this way. We're going to go down into Montmartre itself. We're going to continue walking down. This would take us, if I were to go out of here via these steps, it would take us out of Montmartre. I want to go down into Montmartre and explore a little bit better. In fact, lucky lady is coming out, or maybe it's the maid. One moment. So let me see if I can get a good picture here for Instagram of this spectacular view. Bon. Okay, everyone. The other way now. So we're on Rue de Mont-Cenis, walking on the junction of Rue Courtois. A lot of people are focusing on something here. Let's have a quick look before we go. Again, I know exactly which way we need to go after this, so we're not going to get lost. There's something here that looks interesting. You see everyone that's standing there taking pictures. I don't know what it is. Let's have a quick look. Again, the streets up here behind Sacre Coeur and Montmartre are pretty new to me. So very much seeing as I go, as it were, with all of you. Actually, wait, in fact, it looks like a Chinese tour group. Yeah, sorry, it's a tour group. It's a hotel, a very cute hotel. Oh, it's the museum, sorry. It's the Musée de Montmartre. And it's pink. I think that's why people are happily outside. that explains it. Plus the architecture here is very quaint, isn't it? Let's be honest. Literally, you were just we're actually seriously just here. Yeah, it's a Chinese tour group. They're all sort of listening to the lady's got an iPad translating everything. Let's walk back away from the museum and turn to the right, which is the way we were going to go as we head back into Montmartre. That's it, that's perfect, great. Loving the streets here, but the second you walk down anywhere, the second you turn around to go back up, you suddenly realise that, hold on a second, that gradient, you know, it might not look like it now, but even this little bit, the gradient, marching uphill. March, 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 march. Here we are, that's better. Yeah, in fact, that number 40 bus again. So that's without a doubt the best way to get up into Montmartre properly and avoid any kind of a climb. I didn't realise it came this far up. To give you an idea, Sacre Coeur is right there, so you would not need to walk up at all. Gosh, being a taxi driver up here must be an absolute nightmare. People have got a great spot here, catching the sunshine this morning. The sun is hitting the tables, the red tables. If I were not on the live with all of you guys right now, I would definitely be sitting there enjoying a coffee and some pastries. Beautiful spot, very busy, but beautiful spot. That's got to be the place, hasn't it, to enjoy this this light, without a doubt. Absolutely beautiful, spectacular even. They've just about, some of the tables anyway, just about got a view of the dome, but that's all. There isn't actually much of a view here, but it's really just about that line, isn't it? La Bohème Montmartre, apparently. I don't know, I've never been to this restaurant. To give an idea, sorry, I'm sorry, thank you. To give you an idea, everyone, everyone is flooding out here. This is the Place Jean Marais. Everyone coming out of the service. It's absolutely jam-packed. I don't know if you can quite make out. In fact, I'm not going any closer. Again, I don't film inside or very close to religious buildings. If you can make out, they're closing the door. One of the doors is closing, but I can see the sunshine. I'm not sure if you guys can. Let me see if I can quickly zoom in. The sunshine there just coming through that window on the other side of the church here. Extraordinary, isn't it? Absolutely extraordinary. It's beautiful. And also we have, of course, classically French chap here sketching freehand. Look at this, with a board. How extraordinary is that? I mean, he's got great light for it. I'm not going to film the girl he's sketching because that might distract her. She's here for her portrait, not for our pleasure. So let's go this way. Extraordinary. He's doing a great job, actually. Just had a look at his sketch. He's doing a great job. Okay, here we go, everyone, into Montmartre proper. This is, this is as French as it's going to get. Full stop. Thank you, Jemima. Yeah, it's just amazing, absolutely beautiful. Sunday market, I'm assuming, again, I'm not super familiar with this area, so my assumptions are based primarily on what I'm seeing here. It looks like, it looks an art fair. Perhaps it's a regular Sunday morning thing here on Montmartre. Spectacular. Isn't it so utterly quaint and so utterly quintessentially French in every possible conceivable way? And I mean that in the most complimentary fashion. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing to be here. I feel very very privileged to be sharing this with all of you on a Sunday with the weather like this. I think everyone had exactly the same thought. It's going to be a great morning. It's going to be hopefully a good day. Let's come out and enjoy this this beautiful, beautiful weather. Compared to the grey of yesterday, it really sort of landed, didn't it? In terms of how fresh the food is, that's how fresh it is. Look at this. Gosh, how good does that look right now? Shrimp, prawn, crab, and of course, everyone, of course, what do we have here? It was inevitable we were going to find some escargot. We're going to walk around the square. We're going this way directly in front, but I'm going to walk around the square first before we do. And again, for whoever, I can't remember, apologies, I can't remember who did ask if I would go to the Place de Théâtre. Here we are, just to confirm, everyone. This is the name of the square. Every single little restaurant and cafe here is so incredibly quaint and quintessentially Parisian. Look at those lattes, goodness me, I'm actually not looking with my own eyes because it's going to make me thirsty and hungry all at once. La crémaillère. It's good that we didn't wait actually for the mist to clear. Look, again, looking ahead, we still have a super misty sky over Paris. So we made the right choice to move ultimately. Lots and lots of freehand artists here sketching their subjects. I mean, yes, I know we get that a little bit of that in Leicester Square in London, but it's nothing like this. These guys these guys know what they're doing. You can see from how many people are even watching, in awe of what they're drawing here freehand. Most of them are drawing with charcoal. There are a couple of guys I noticed over there painting with oil, which I'm guessing takes an awful lot longer, but yeah, sketching freehand with charcoal. Pardon? That was the truly incredible Place de Turc. And bizarrely enough, everyone, look what I just found. I would not have guessed this was here. What a surprise. I mean, at least it doesn't look like a Starbucks, but yeah, that's very much a Starbucks. Starbucks in Montmartre. Shocked. Genuinely shocked. Very slowly everyone because it is incredibly busy.
Ah mais je sais dans quoi j'ai vu ça. C'est
small shops, independent galleries and so on.
I like the Japanese culture very much.
This is the Rue Nova. Just to clarify, we're still in Montmartre, in the 18th arrondissement, as you can see here from the sign in front of me. I'm just sort of bearing in mind which streets we're going past. Again, I'm not over familiar with this area. A lot of this is new to me. Someone rather luckily lives here. Spectacular blue gates. This is everyone. Look at the macaron. Biscuitière. And on this side, I'm not sure what he's preparing. I think he's preparing, is it a fondant? A mulled wine, perhaps. Bonjour. Very kind, very friendly. So still on Rue Nova. It's a wonder, isn't it? Montmartre is truly a wonder. An absolute gem here in the heart of Paris. There's colours, everyone. You know, one moment it's red, another moment it's green. Here we have this absolute electric blue. It's not, I mean, to be honest, looking at the blues right now, it could well be in Chefchaouen in Morocco. This is the Rue, again, guys, I can't speak French, Poulbeau, here in Montmartre. This is a pizzeria, apparently. Italian pizzeria here in Paris. €6 for an imported beer, pretty good. €3 for a hot chocolate. In fact, like a Vachon, €3. Very good prices, in fact, considering this is absolutely a tourist magnet, and rightly so. There's almost nothing here to dislike. It's perfect, in a very quaint, traditionally French way. It's absolutely perfect. To go down here for a moment, this art gallery has really taken PR and using a public space for maximum potential. Literally, look at this. They've actually decorated their external wall. Isn't that extraordinary? It's called Galerie d'Art. Obviously, an art gallery. I can't see a name, in fact. It's an art gallery and a lot of ceramics here. That's pretty smart, isn't it? To decorate this wall with their products. Of course, people are going to want to go inside and explore. It looks like an absolute treasure trove in there. One second, I'm not going to go in and film around. I don't do that within shops. It's not really fair. But I'll sort of go very close to the door. It really does look like a treasure trove of French ceramics. This. It's a secret cave of ceramics right here. Bon. Quite lovely. In fact, there is the. Excuse me. This is the stop, in fact, for that bus number 40. It seems that this is the key pickup or drop-off point before it goes properly onto those small streets. I would guess this is the last stop. So Place de Tête Norvin for that number 40. It's the only bus, as you can see there, the only bus that stops literally right outside Sacre Coeur. So for anyone that has difficulty walking or getting up here from the steps, the only way to get up here. Otherwise, it's going to be that number 40 bus. That really is an absolute ideal route. and super picturesque as well. I'm just wondering, everybody, just looking around, because we've got a choice right now. There are two streets here. One seems to be leading down a teeny bit this way, and the other one seems to be leading up a little bit that way. Let me just have a quick peek before I decide which one we're going to take. I don't think it fundamentally matters, and I think ultimately we'll end up in the same place. I'm liking the look of this one here, actually. Let's follow this up and see where this goes. I have no idea if this is one house or not. It's locked, but that's a rather nice house if it is. Okay, yeah, this is still Rue Norvin, so I'm happy to go this way. Let's see where we end up. It's going roughly in the right direction. I'm going to pause for a moment, everybody, because I need to plug in the power for the phone. Okay, that's it. Power is on. Thankfully, just in the nick of time there. Always that happens. In fact, I sort of forget that that the power is running out quickly. Just a moment, and we will be moving again. That's it. Perfect. Just the nick of time there with the power. Actually, it got down to 3%. Actually, yeah, it's good to walk this way. We're walking into those blue skies again. I'm also going to check whilst I'm walking on the other phone that we're walking directly toward the centre of Paris and not somewhat west. Get to the bottom here, see if I can get my bearings. If not, I'll check manually. This is not London yet. Anyone that's wondering, this is not London. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is London City Walks, but in Paris, changing it up a little bit. Yeah, maybe I should change the name of the channel to ParisCityWalks, just because I happen to be in Paris for 1% of the walks. Come on, seriously. I'm guessing, I don't know who it is, but I'm guessing that this is someone important. Excusez-moi, vous parlez anglais? No? A petit peu. What is the statue?
I don't remember.
No, you okay, I feel better now. I don't remember. If a French doesn't remember, I feel good. Merci. So a huge group of, huge tour group here looking and enjoying that. I don't know who it is, and even the French lady I just asked said that she doesn't remember. It's not marked. I don't know, everyone. I'm sorry. If anyone knows, that would be wonderful. Yeah, they're all there listening to somebody speak about this figure who's popping out of the wall. And it's funny because the woman, I don't know if you heard her, she said that when she obviously she didn't know, and her son's like, oh, I don't know either. And then she said to her son, putain. Funny. Makes you feel bad now that I didn't know and don't know who it is. Wait, did she say that? Putain. If anyone is being overly critical of the fact that London City Walks in Paris, mods, please feel free to mute them. That way they don't have to waste your time or mine with pointless comments about why we're not in London. Avenue Junot, with a small theatre here. Actually, I'm going to cut back this way. Yeah, we can mute Johnny Dev. He's an utter waste of time. So yeah, feel free to mute him, guys. Not needed. Plenty of other lives, plenty of other channels. Oh, this board, this metal board, is balancing very precarious over an enormous hole here in the street. Goodness. Behind it, good for the traffic. Getting people, large groups of people stopping. I'm not sure if they're just tall groups, but even if they are tall groups, I would think that they're stopping here for a reason. Unless he's just sort of giving them a pause before they head further down. French people explaining things to non-French speakers here, very thoughtful in French. I'm just going to double check on Google Maps exactly where we are, because again we have multiple points here, multiple options. One moment, everybody. Let's see. Okay, so just looking at this. Yeah, I'm happy with where we're going actually. Let's go around this way.
And at this time, we're just after the French Revolution.
I am Gordon, just a little away from London. Not an enormous way, but a little way. So let's work our way back up to the top and go down the steps the way that I came up originally. I think that's going to be the best way. That way you guys can see the walk up, which is also super picturesque. Passe Muraille. Okay, thank you very much for searching for that. Thank you, Alex. So like a nice glass of wine on a Sunday morning. Okay, this is Rue Le Pic. My pleasure. No, thank you for watching. I'm cautiously studying the street names. We're going back towards Sacre Coeur, but we'll be at one level lower than we were when we began at Sacre Coeur. So we're not right at the top now. So we'll have even better views, in fact, over the entirety of Sacre Coeur once I get over to this spot. Gloriously Parisian streets here, absolutely. There are lots of love walls close to Sacre Coeur. Bumpy ride on a scooter, wow, it's really jigging up and down. Some interesting architecture here, some of it is quite extraordinary. There's this modern house that's been built right up here on the hillside. You can see the top of Sacre Coeur peeking over there. So we're definitely going the right way. In fact, it's actually starting to look familiar again. Okay, so that's one of the approaches, again with that enormous climb. Thank goodness we're at the bottom and not having to do that. Look, the gradient of those steps. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a gradient I would want to do again. Look at this. A lot of people are stopping actually and getting verbal instructions from their Apple Maps or Google Maps. It's very easy to get lost here. Something of a warren. But again, you can see that we're generally in the right place. We're just going to continue walking. We'll come to the bottom of Sacre Coeur, just up here, and then we can take the steps that will go down after that on the right hand side. It is wonderful, isn't it? The climb, those secondary levels are here on my left. And you can see Sacre Coeur peeking out where we start at the top. So we are in fact 1.5 levels lower than where I first began, which is almost perfect. That worked out quite well, bizarrely enough. So other set of steps going up, people walking up very slowly. It is clean. It's not really surprising here. This is tourist central, tourist prime. But to give an idea, we still are very, very much above a typical Paris street level. I'd say, we're about. I think we're actually just spot in the middle. 1 second, I'll know in a moment. Let's go through here and have a look. The mist still hasn't completely lifted. I think we're 50% of the way down at this point. Yes, we are. I remember this. This is where I came up. Okay, perfect. Somebody decided to have a little nap here on the corner, French style. Or perhaps he or she didn't go home last night. Just recovering. There is a visitor centre here, and then obviously you can see Sacre Coeur above where we started this morning. Literally right outside on the steps of Sacre Coeur. I'm going to be exceedingly careful in this last ascent because the steps here are ridiculously steep. I'm going to wait actually and get right next to the rail so that imagine if I dropped the camera and the kit down the steps while you guys were watching. Incidentally, there's also the other option of this if you don't want to take the bus, if you're busophobic. I'm not quite sure what to call it actually. I mean, it's not a cable car. I guess it's a sort of a mini metro, isn't it? Fundamentally, look, people gazing longingly and lovingly up at what awaits them at the top. So there is that option. I don't even know what it's called. It's not signed, but you can see, the walk up is a real leg killer. The gradient is incredibly steep. But it's worth it for that view that we saw this morning when we started. Okay, so the other 50% in the way. 1 moment. Camera is twisting itself around like it always does when the cable's plugged in. 1 second, everyone. There we're back. Okay, so as mentioned, look, people are pausing on the way up. In fact, it really is an incredibly high climb. Goodness me. Okay, so here we go. And again, I'm going to take this slowly and hold on to the rail while I'm doing it, just in case. And as long as I don't drop the kit, enjoy, guys. Oh God, I'm trying not to look at the camera. It gives me massive vertigo if I look at it through the camera. Lady walk up there on my left with a baguette, a freshly bought baguette in her rucksack. How quintessentially Parisian is that? I'm trying not to film these guys training at the bottom because it looks like they're fighting, but they're not fighting. They're just training. But TikTok doesn't like that, so I'm going to be careful. This is not in London, everybody. Anyone that's watching now, just to confirm again, this is the last time for the moment I'll mention it. We are here in beautiful Paris on the City Walks in Paris for this weekend. Okay, the final set of steps. I think we're going to make it. I've not spoken too soon. Merci, monsieur. Okay. So here it is. I don't know what this place is called actually. Let me have a quick look. This is I guess it's a tram, isn't it, of some sort. What do they call it here? I can't even see a name actually of Place Libre. Okay, so funiculaire. I don't know what that means. Apologies, everyone. I guess it means tram or sort of mini railway. I don't know. But yeah, that's I guess the the easy route to skip that massive mountain of steps. Okay, so back at street level. Hooray! So when I pan fast, the cable doesn't like it. Anyway, the phone will be charged in 5 minutes. I can unplug it again. Apologies. That's it. Back. We are back. And it's equally lovely back at street level. Just looking for a street name. Can't say it yet. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Lovely down here at street level. We definitely have one of those 50-50 moments there right now, actually. Whether or not the better option is to go this way, or to go that way. I think the only way that's going to be resolved unequivocally is with the aid of Google Maps. Let's have a look, because I want to go on next to another very interesting spot. I don't know which one yet. So one moment, everybody. I'm going to plonk us down here. Keep that nicely focused along the street and decide what next. One moment. Go right. I don't know what's right. I want to double check 100% because I've got a couple of things in mind. And I would massively like to pop back toward Place Vendôme. So I'm just going to have a look and see where we are relative to Place Vendôme. Okay, just a moment, everybody, let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, if I keep moving along in front of us, we're going to end up back at Anvers Metro. If we go past Anvers, one moment. Yeah, still in the 9th arrondissement. And whoever mentioned that we should go right is absolutely correct. Well done, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. We're going to go right here. Then we're going to take the first left, and we're going to fundamentally cut back across, generally speaking, in the direction of the Louvre. Yeah, that does seem to be the best option, in fact, looking at where we are and where ideally we would like to be. That should take us past Palais Garnier, back toward Concorde. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good call. Thank you to whoever mentioned going right. Yep, right and first left. Okay, folks, I know where we're going now.
Top. Ça nous manquait après un petit vin chaud.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, left would have taken us into the centre anyway, but this is a far more direct route. So we'll walk to the top here, then we'll take a first left, and fundamentally we'll then begin going back into Paris Central proper. So yeah, thanks for, unless that was a guess, thank you very much for for suggesting right. Tournez à droite. It really was a pleasure to catch Montmartre with that wonderful morning light. That sunshine is now gone, so it was very, very lucky. Yeah, we were all the way up there at the top. And now we're slowly continuing the ascent into central Paris. People out for either very, very early lunch or a late breakfast. The restaurants are heaving. Yep, this is correct. Heading back towards central Paris, back toward Concorde, etc. This is correct. Going the right way. Rue d'Orsel.
On va retourner s'il veut.
360 here. This is a super spot, in fact. This is Rue d'Encore at the moment that I'm walking down here.
Daar aan de vulpak stond in een winkel, Zeg dat ze er weewater heeft gevloed net. Weet je ook eens zien?
My pleasure, Stephanie. Thank you for the kind comment.
Die boeren van de markt. En die heeft dan niet
get a taxi for £40 to Paris from London. You definitely can't. I'm not sure if that's a joke. 40, more like 440. Even that probably wouldn't be enough. Taxi from London to Paris, I'm thinking they want a minimum of £500 up front. Little Sunday market in front. You sort of know we've hit Paris at this point. The building opposite, actually. Wait, I can't actually tell. Oh yeah, it's netting. I wasn't sure whether they put a huge mural over it or whether it was netting. No, that is the actual original building, but they've put a huge netting over it. I'm guessing it's about to be refurbished. I also probably shouldn't stand in the cycle lane. My usual mistake. Let's see what's being sold here. London might be looking lovely. I wouldn't know. I'm not there. Some very interesting items actually they have here.
Aujourd'hui, on regarde même la composition de l'eau. Alors vous pensez bien que j'ai vérifié de quoi sont faits nos tampons et j'utilise Tempax Protection Coton. Il a été renouvelé 100% bio. Il n'est ni parfum ni colorant. Et c'est testé par des experts. Et puis, vraiment, confiance. Tous nos tampons Tempax sont certifiés climatique par la Tempax, aussi sur PC.
Merci à tous d'être venus à la brocante. Nous les pas de voir ce soir. On est là pour vous.
Live performance, everyone, coming up. He's even got a microphone as well. I'm guessing he might be heading toward the centre. He's going the same way as us anyway. little live music there. Trafalgar Square style here in central Paris instead. It's the end here and I'll find a street name. La Cigale on my right hand side. One moment. Just get out of the top here. It's very busy. Boulevard de... It's too far away and too long to read it. One moment, everyone. Okay, so let's have a look. So Montmartre this way, we know that we came from there. Okay, this way, we're going this way. And it's green. In fact, we're not going in the Carrefour, much as I'm very tempted to stop for not yet anyway. Take advantage of the green. Actually, it's the first Carrefour I've seen. In fact, Monoprix is everywhere, but yeah, it's the first Carrefour. Boulevard Marguerite de Rochouart, apparently. Actually, wait, the soldiers are there again in those jeeps. Let's continue this way. I don't think I've followed them, I might get arrested. Yvonne, it was already, that's where we started. We started, walk all the way up from the Arc de Triomphe and spend about an hour at Sacre Coeur. So alas, I'm sorry you missed the love wall, shall we say. Don't worry, it'll be on YouTube later. I took a lot of extra footage for YouTube. I might do if we get a little closer to the centre. Bon, oui. À Paris. ParisCityWalks dans le Paris. I've actually just spotted, bizarrely enough, on the other side of the road, McDonald's. There's a McDonald's. I'm tempted to get a Mc something, but I don't know Mc what. In fact, if I go in, do I ask for a Big Mac or do I ask for Le Big Mac, Le Grand Mac, Le Mac Grand? Come on, Gimbal, stop being funny. Okay, that's better. Actually, folks, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop here, grab something to eat very quickly. Because that means I can then focus after we leave there on the walk into central Paris. I think it's better to do it here. So what I'm going to do briefly, you know I'll be back anyway, is end the live, grab something to eat. Actually, I'm just thinking though, I'm in Paris, do I want to eat at McDonald's? I don't actually, I really don't. Actually no, I'm not going to waste my time going there. I don't need it in London, so I definitely shouldn't eat it here. I'm gonna stop when I find something that looks a little bit more interesting. Something local. Plus I like real coffee, not McDonald's offering. Yeah, it was a very small McDonald's. Okay, so I have mentioned before, this is Pigalle, metro station right here. And to be honest, actually, thinking about it, if you were going to go by metro to Sacre Coeur, the last place you want to come is here. You definitely would not want to go to Pigalle. The walk here from Pigalle up to Sacre Coeur, that's an awful long walk. and that's even before you get to the steps up. Anvers is much closer. Anvers is definitely the closest metro station. Here's a little train, by the way. I'm not sure if it's the same one or another one, but yeah, the little yeah, it is the same one. I recognise the driver. That's the magic train that tours around here. Montmartre goes up to Sacre Coeur. Complete with happy tourists. Actually, I wonder what that was. In fact, it's a hammam. Turkish baths there, called Moon City. Hammam Sauna Spa. And the other, actually, I'm not going to pan to the other side. TikTok will kill the stream if I do. Let's just say that it's not material that's suitable for minors on my left. You know, the French are quite liberal about these things. There's a huge, you know what's shop on my left, an enormous one, called something Odrome. I actually need to be very careful about where I point the camera walking down here. Anywhere on the left is pretty much a no. Very quick peek. Probably the neon signs and the sort of things in the window give it away. Actually, wait, to a certain extent, it's the same over on the right. Lots of interesting clubs with some very curious names, in fact, in this spot. Very curious. Big surprise. Yeah, a lot of those shops here, actually, loads of them. Yeah, I mean, of course, parts of it will be more interesting at night. Not all parts of it, but some of it. Last night, the Champs-Élysées was super interesting as we walked along. But yeah, let's just say that the shops off to my left and right, most of them involve live shows or dancing of some kind. You could probably, you know, guess what I'm alluding to here. The top and then double check exactly which way is better to go. I'm pretty sure we need to head left at the end here. But yeah, this entire district, Pigalle, is let's just say it's very close to Amsterdam's red light district, if that makes sense. I'm walking on the Boulevard de Clichy at the moment. This is the Boulevard de Clichy. I bet at night, actually, I bet this is a very interesting walk along this part. I wouldn't do it at night, in fact, to be honest. You saw there were a lot of, I don't know, either drunk and or homeless or whatever guys fighting back there. Luckily, most of the fighting was after I walked past them as opposed to as I was walking toward them, thankfully. And there, of course, is the absolute original, forget about the one in Soho, there is the original Moulin Rouge right in front of us. And this is metro here to my left is Blanche on line number 2. Okay, back to the busy parts. Actually, wait, the lights are red. Got the train. Look, the train is back. I guess he did a circle. Actually, wait, no, it's not the same train. It's another one. This is the one that's heading back to Sacre Coeur. The driver's a different guy driving. Just waiting for the lights to change. So yeah, this is the return train. Going over there past Moulin Rouge. Yesterday, she on just over 24,000 at the end. Longest ever actually in one day. I was pretty dead last night, I'm not going to lie. Obviously a lot of people here taking pictures and so on, trying to get the absolute dream selfie or picture for Instagram here with the Moulin Rouge in the background. I'm more interested in their buildings. Look at that building, in fact. Incredible. One moment, I will pan. 1 second, everyone. Let me get a good spot. This is a good 360 spot here. Oh, there's actually 5 guys directly in front. Okay, let me jump up where everyone else is. Here we go. That's more like it. Now you should get some relatively unobscured views here in central Paris. Wind's picking up a little bit. Oh, we've got a little bit of wind noise. There it is, everyone. The real deal, not the little one in Soho. That's the original. Moulin Rouge here in Paris. I actually forgot that this was at this end of Pigalle. I was pleasantly surprised. It's always nice to stumble across places when you're not sure. There it is. That's about as best I'm going to be able to do in terms of grabbing. If you want to take a screenshot or similar of the Moulin Rouge, I'm going to hold that with my hand so it doesn't move for a moment. More. Okay, and back down. Okay, what I'm going to do actually, while we're here, at this exact spot, grab a seat on the other side and have a think about where it's good to head next. One moment, everybody. That's better. Yeah, it's not just, I noticed somebody mentioned 5 guys. It's not just 5 guys, you know, in the space of a moment. We have McDonald's back there, 5 guys is here, Starbucks is there, but to be honest, you know, they're not super intrusive here in Paris, and they're nowhere near as ubiquitous as they are in London. Nowhere near. You know, unlike in London where everything is a chain of some kind, you know, whether it's Lyon, or a US chain. In Paris, you still know that you're in France. Almost everything is like this. You know, there's red awnings or similar, and just tens of dozens of small and much adorable side cafes. So really no comparison. Also, if you notice the livery here of Starbucks is not green. I don't know if a lot of it is still green, but they just don't seem to stick out here particularly. Certainly not compared to London anyway. Okay, so we will head now to my right towards Opera. Or Opera. Yes, it is. Just the last turn. The Moulin Rouge is here. For anyone that just joined and didn't see it, nice timing. The Moulin Rouge is literally right behind me. So very well done for asking if the Moulin Rouge is here at the exact moment it is here. Yeah, behind me. Nice coincidence. My pleasure. This is Rue Blanche in front of me that we're now going to walk down towards Opera. Paris is disappointing. I can't imagine, Nicole, where else you've been that is superior. Given that I've lived in 7 countries and travelled to about 30, it's far from disappointing. I guess you're just sort of looking for a response. But let's listen to Nicole's majestic suggestions about better destinations for, for a weekend away than Paris. Ridiculous comment. My favourite place here in Paris? It's a good question. It's not going to be, as you were probably thinking, the Eiffel Tower. I'm a huge fan of Place Vendôme. We had an incredible experience yesterday. I'm still kicking myself for not recording it in 4K separately. I've got all the footage for TikTok, but yeah, that was a truly wonderful walk yesterday. I really am kicking myself about it. That said, to be honest, I don't think the power would have lasted anyway. There's enough to charge everything twice, and we were way over that yesterday. I'm not sure if we're getting up as far as the Louvre again today. I was there yesterday. The Louvre, yeah, fine, magnificent, 100%, but my God, those queues. They were just, they go on and on and on and on. The fact that you need to spend a couple of hours in the queue before you even get inside, and then you can spend an entire day walking around inside. It really is the definitive tourist trap here in Paris, actually, the Louvre. And not in a good way. The numbers are just mind-boggling, especially as it's still winter, I'm not sure, there's no actual predetermined destination right now. I'm just walking, continuing to walk from Montmartre back towards central Paris. We're heading at the moment toward Opera. I'll decide once we get there what's next. I will definitely not, just to confirm, I'm definitely not going to the South Bank again. I was hoping, if it was going to be a super sunny day, I would have headed back to the Eiffel Tower, but having spent a lot of time there yesterday morning when I first arrived in Paris on the live, I'm not going to go back to the Eiffel Tower. There's nothing interesting enough other than the Eiffel Tower on the South Bank in that area to justify the walk. It's just too far. Almost everything that is spectacular and wonderful in Paris is on the north bank of the Seine, or north of the Seine, I should say. Yes to the question about Eurostar. Sorry, if I'm not looking at all the questions, I'm being careful here on the street. Yeah, I did came here by Eurostar. Actually, I've just noticed, one second. Oh, it's very quiet here. I've noticed there's a Carrefour Express behind me. I'm going to pop in and grab something while I'm here. One moment, everyone. I'm not going to pause around the live. I'll keep it on and pray that my phone doesn't get rejected when I go to pay. One second. That I can quickly grab a drink and something tasty. Okay, let's pop into. Obviously, I'm not going to sort of focus it on anything or anyone in particular. I'm going to grab a couple of things and come out. One moment. Bonjour. Okay, what am I looking for? Pastries, croissants here.
Croissant?
Yeah, or something similar. So excuse me, just over here. Okay, super. Thank you. I see. Here we go. He's right. Little pastries, croissants, and other things. I want some madeleine. One moment. What she's got here. Baguettes. There we go. Actually, the Paris chocolat is going to be a better option. Yep, that's it. One moment, everybody. Merci, thank you. Apologies everyone, 1 second, I'll pop it back around. Yeah, no, it's okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Wait a minute guys, apologies there, the camera's obviously going wild as I'm picking things up in the shop, apologies. It's because it's still attached to the cable. One moment, let's get over here, I'm going to grab a little spot, have my Oasis, literally my favourite little French drink, eat a pastry and we'll continue our little journey. One moment. I know the camera's a bit jiggy, 1 second everyone, I can see it, hold on, I've just got my hands full, I can't manually adjust it. Right, I'm going to sit here on the curb because you know what? That's the way I like it. Rough and raw. Bon. Whoops, everyone, there we are. Oasis. The most delicious, simple French drink and the best packed brioche or pain au chocolat, pasquier. Any French people watching will know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to pause YouTube. Apologies for anyone watching on YouTube. We're going to pause you guys now while I have something to eat and focus on the questions for a little while. Back shortly on YouTube. Welcome back. A very warm welcome back if you're watching this on YouTube. Let's continue the walk here generally speaking, toward Place Vendôme. It's good to be on the move again actually. Nothing like stretching the legs after something to eat. Welcome Karina, welcome from Singapore. And welcome everybody else. I think we lost a few when we had that resumption. It happens, not the end of the world. Okay, let's continue. It was delicious, pain au chocolat and a delicious tropical oasis. What's the French called? Oasis. Only here, only some of the smaller streets are like this. Once we get into the centre, you'll see the boulevard are extraordinarily wide, far wider than anything in London. Far wider than anything in London. Ah, there's a donut shop behind me, damn it, never mind. My pleasure. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Zhang. The Moncy. And again, just to confirm, we're walking generally. It's not a British diet, don't worry. I ate very heartily yesterday morning. And I'll be eating a very hearty French meal this evening. Last night's food was pretty good too, so it's all good. It's important to make sure that you don't neglect even the carbs and the right fats when you're getting through so many calories. I'm sure I got through something along the lines of between 3,500 and 4,500 calories yesterday. You know, that was an epic 13-mile walk, a hell of a lot of calories burned. It's going to take a couple of days actually of normal food when I get back to London to get back to full strength. Hey, welcome, bonjour. Of course, bonjour if you're joining from Quebec. Thank you, Jean. Okay, Théâtre de Paris in front. Lovely and quaint. Very much so, in fact. Ah, it's a police station. Sapeur Pompier. Sorry, police station. It's a flipping fire station. Pompier's fireman. Sorry. Yeah, French fire station here. Pompier. Liberté, égalité, fraternité, of course. Sapeur Pompier de Paris. Fire station of Paris police. Parisian policeman. Unless somebody wants to correct me. Anyway, let's continue. Book Nook. Cute. Book Nook. Books and coffee. Parisian style. Super. And on this side, girls' school. It's a rather swish school, isn't it? Not forgetting, of course, that we're still in the EU here for the moment. Pizza, pasta. Rue Pigalle to my left. Rue Pigalle at the top. Rue Jean-Baptiste Pigalle. Okay. Everyone's mentioning about the streets being narrow a little while ago. Wait till we get up here. No, anything but narrow. These boulevards are very wide, plenty of space, very comfortable to walk here. An exceedingly comfortable and walkable city, Paris. People even carry their mattresses on the car roof. Look at this. See how it opens up all of a sudden? Quickly cross over. The awnings of the restaurants alone would tell you where we are, literally, wouldn't they? Look. La Rotonde. Better. Plus, the best thing about walking Paris on a Sunday in particular is obviously the fact that there is a considerable difference in the level of not just street traffic, people walking, but traffic itself. Look, these grand boulevards are largely devoid of traffic, which is a wonderful thing. Let me just double check. Yep, this is the right street. Yeah, huge difference actually. I mean, that said, up at Montmartre was chaos, but then it was very sunny at 9 o'clock this morning, so I can understand why it was so busy up there. Everyone had the same idea. Let's not lose the opportunity to enjoy that sun on Sacre Coeur. I get that. Hey, you're getting a bit of deja vu from last weekend already. Time here, 18 minutes past 1. Here in Paris. We are walking in the general direction of Place Vendôme. When I get to the absolute bottom here, I will double check. Yep, it's a weekend trip to Paris. Otherwise everyone's going to start unfollowing me actually if I don't give any more London content. They'll be like, oh my god, he's in Paris. This is London City Walks. No, there's no comparisons with Bath. Let's be honest, Bath is a provincial English city, and no comparisons between Bath and Paris. One second, I'll show you something interesting in a moment. On my right hand side is the, I wouldn't quite go as far as saying it's the French Harrods because it's not, the French Selfridges. This is the side of Galeries Lafayette, everyone. So you'll be able to see that we're getting into, and again, this is how safe Paris is. You see the soldiers patrolling. Three guys and a lady with automatic weapons, not only on their person but drawn. Yeah, actually, hers is drawn. Curious sight, actually, to be honest. In this area, I was not expecting that. I get it when, at Sacre Coeur, I can understand why there were so many troops there this morning. Literally half a platoon's worth. But yeah, that was a bit surprising here. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, Galeries Lafayette's here. A lot of French would disagree and probably say, hold on a second, that isn't like Selfridges, it's much more like Harrods. I'd say it's kind of between the two, really. It's by far the grandest department store in Paris, by far, and the most famous. It's also enormous. This is a side, by the way. I'm going to walk round to the right in a moment. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of soldiers since I got here. They're not everywhere, but there are odd groups of 4 or 6, and they've always got automatic weapons. So, good to know the French government have got any potential issues under control, hopefully before they even happen. At this moment you could definitely believe that we were in the UK, and that's why. H&M in Paris. Okay, but we're not in London. We are about to walk along the front of Galeries Lafayette. The moment the lights decide to go to green. Bon. I'm going to cut round instead. The metro, one second. Yeah, metro station there. Okay, so here we are at the front. Music is playing in speakers above me. It's Galeries Lafayette's outdoor speaker system. We're at the rear side of the opera here. I will go round afterwards. I'll finish along the front of, along this part of Lafayette, and then we'll go to the front of the opera. I haven't forgotten about the opera being on my left. You see how enormous Lafayette is though? It's a series of shops. There is a department store, but also a lot of other shops. We also have that glass bridge, in fact, between the two different parts of Galeries Lafayette. Right, so green. So we're going to walk to the end of Lafayette, cross over the road, and then double back and go past to the front of Opera. And then from there we'll walk down towards Place Vendôme. At which point I'll hopefully completely have my bearings again after yesterday's debacle.